Hello Steve. Hello Joe. It's time to game classy.
You have been admitted to this meeting.
Everything is being recorded.
Everything is being recorded. I was just actually reading up a thing about like how the government has all of this information, but we have no idea what to do with any of it.
Yeah, I mean, most of it is junk.
Yeah, I mean, quite literally, it's like the government doesn't want to know what I masturbate to. I mean,
they know. They just don't want to know.
I mean, it's not even like we don't want to know this. It's more like ugh, I guess we have this information. I guess this is gross. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm like, oh, I know. I'm very much ashamed of myself.
Then you got the one guy, the one who does the look in the eyebrows, like, oh, you gotta have that guy.
New fetish unlocked.
Yeah, you've got to have that guy. It's one of the rules.
Sorry, my voice is out. I was out last night partying hard at the age of 43. So
why were you out partying hard?
Just cause, you know.
Oh, okay. Just cause, that's fine. You don't need a reason. Just if you have one.
No. This is the weekend of all the things that I wanted to do, but I am unable to do because of other reasons. But
wonderful.
Yeah, this is the Star Trek weekend for Vegas, and I'm very sad I'm not there this year. So
I didn't know they were still doing it in Vegas. Nice.
Oh yeah, the Star Trek Vegas show is huge, and next year I already told my wife, and she gave me permission. And I don't say that as in permission, as in like I couldn't do it if she was like, no, you can't do it. But it's what you like that mature type of relationship thing where you're like, I want to do this thing, and I'm going to talk about it with my significant other and not make unilateral decisions, kind of thing. But next year I'm going to go do the Vegas show. I've decided. Yes, it's for when I start Trek classy, so that way
you're gonna go to Quark's bar. You have to have the experience.
I did the experience back in, I don't know, 08 or 09, and I'm so sad that it's gone because I would love to do it again.
Oh man, that'd be pretty cool.
It's the sadder part is that probably most of that shit is sitting out in a Las Vegas landfill somewhere.
I think a lot of this ends up on those auction sites, like where James linked that fucking Airhawk.
Yeah, well, they do. A lot of like the props, like what I'm talking about, like a lot of that stuff is like the like legit props from the show that were in the experience. But I'm talking like the command console or something like that.
Oh, like stuff they actually made just for the
experience. Yeah, that's in a landfill somewhere.
Yeah, well, like maybe some of the staff took it home. I know that happens a lot.
That could very well be, but I mean, like the big glass bowls that you would get at Quark's bar are probably sitting in a landfill somewhere. Like the fish bowls that you would drink out of, that they'd put that they would put like 8 different types of alcohol and then dry ice in and be like, it's sci-fi. You're like, no, this is literal liver poison. Delicious. Long Island iced tea. But they would call it something like Cardassian iced tea.
Yes, Romulan ale.
Oh no, Romulan ale is just is essentially Ecto Cooler and vodka, but it's just blue.
Ecto Cooler and vodka. I like that.
Yeah. It's quite literally like they say, like it's banned in the Federation. It's not because of the alcohol content. It's because of the nasty ass sugar that's in it.
That's really funny.
They're like, this is not for human consumption. What do you mean? It just fucks you up. No. It's not the alcohol. It's the effect of all this sugar. You're gonna go into a diabetic coma if you drink this Romulan ale.
I like it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Welcome to Game Classy, everybody. I'm your host, Joe, and with me as always my co-host, Steve.
Hello. I finally started that project on Letterboxd.
Keep a track of your movies?
Yeah, I'm not I'm trying to go as fast as possible. So I've established several rules for myself. One, if I'm only pretty sure I've seen the movie and don't remember it, I don't mark it as watched. I don't.
Mm.
I'm not reviewing the quality of the films. I'm literally just going, have I seen this film? Yes, no.
No, that's a good way of doing it. I agree with that. I think I don't know. I don't know if there's any movies that I don't remember seeing. I have a pretty weird eidetic memory for movies.
There's definitely some that I'm like, I'm pretty sure I saw this movie as a kid, but I don't remember. Like there's a few where I'm just like, it's one of those things where it's like it's like, is this something that I'm 100% sure I've seen, or is it just something similar to something that I've seen?
You're looking on the website and you're like, Goonies? I don't remember if I've ever seen this.
Gooners? No, that
Goonies does sound like something I'd be interested in.
yes. No, that's what I mean. Like all those old movies that like I watched. Because I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw Goonies, but that movie made a huge impact on me, so I remember it very well. But then there's other movies like, what is it? Fuck, it's a Steve Martin movie.
The Jerk.
It's not The Jerk, but we'll just say The Jerk is
The
an
Man
example.
with Two Brains.
We'll just say The Jerk is an example because it's fine for the purposes of this exercise. Like, I'll look at The Jerk and I'll be like, I'm pretty sure I saw that movie. Like, or was it that other Steve Martin movie? Well, I'm definitely sure I saw the other Steve Martin movie. So if it falls into that category where I'm like, it's fuzzy, I just skip. I just go to the next thing. Just like, nope, we're just gonna skip that because I'm actually gonna try and get this done before I die. Turns out, I don't know if you've ever looked at Letterboxd, but it actually shows you how many movies are released like in each decade. There's a lot of fucking movies, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of fucking movies. Like, holy shit. Like, I mean, I knew there were a lot of movies, but I did not know there were a lot of movies.
As a guy who watches a lot of shitty movies on Tubi, I will tell you 99% of all movies ever released in a year suck.
Yeah, super forgettable. Very, very, very shitty. I feel that.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I finally caught Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
I actually want to watch it again. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I really liked it when I saw it in the theater. I thought it was fantastic. It's a great little Halloween movie. I wanted to rewatch it, so I got really high, sat on the couch, started watching it, and about right when it starts like ramping up, someone texted me with like some really disturbing information, and I got really like it instantly killed my buzz, but not in like oh, now I'm just sober kind of way. It was more of like, now I'm paranoid and angry kind of way.
Wonderful.
So that, yeah, it ruined my second experience with it. I have yet to revisit it back. So nothing to do with the movie. It was just,
bad timing.
Bad timing. Yes.
Very good.
Yes. Bad dates.
Yes. Bad dates.
So yeah, you liked it. I'm glad you did.
Yes, no, I'm a big fan. I thought it was phenomenal. Like, and like just an excellent film. Like, really, really good. Like you, if anyone wants to add a new one to their Halloween roster, Late Night with the Devil, can't go wrong.
Yes, and now all you need to do is watch Babylon 5, and then you'll finally be like, Joe knows what he's talking about.
I do need to watch Babylon 5 on Tubi.
Yeah, especially just like it's anytime it's no strike against Deep Space Nine. I love Deep Space Nine. I like there's a lot of things that I don't like about Deep Space Nine, but there's a lot of stuff I like about Deep Space Nine. But the one thing that makes me mad about Deep Space Nine is that if you watch Babylon 5, you realize what Deep Space Nine could have been, and then you get irrationally angry about Deep Space Nine.
I get you. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's just like when I sit and reflect about like Voyager, which again I do like Voyager, but when I think about it, I'm just like, man, it could have been fucking incredible. Like, it could have been really, really good. Like, if they just ran with their fucking concepts.
Yeah, but of course they're not going to do that. I've been I think I texted you about it that I'm doing the Star Trek 8s, which is every Star Trek episode above an 8.0 on IMDb.
That's pretty cool.
Which is not a huge, but it's like maybe 24 episodes of well, I shouldn't say 24 episodes of like, but it's less than 50 episodes for the entirety of Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek's like over on average. On average, if you watch an episode of Star Trek, it is at least like good.
Yes.
Or like that's the average. Is it's like it's good. Gripping television is like definitely there, but that I would not say that that's like a common. Like that's not common.
Yeah, but it's just it's nice because that way you can actually it's manageable to watch. Like
Oh, for
when you
sure,
do-
for sure.
Yeah, and because there's so many shows where you're just like, oh, this is such a slog.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of funny because IMDb ratings change quite a bit. So like certain episodes will hover between like a 7.9 and an 8.0.
Oh.
And it's like, I'm like, oh, I really like that episode. I kind of wish I could watch it, but nope, it's not on the list. Can't watch it.
I like
No,
that.
thank you.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it does take out a lot of the shitty episodes. Unfortunately, I can't watch the Beverly Crusher ghost fucking episode.
Oh no.
It is definitely not an 8.0 episode.
She fucked a Scottish ghost.
She did fuck a Scottish ghost.
It's
But I
so
also like
weird.
it because it's like there's a good smattering of episodes in every season. So you get a flavor of every season of Trek.
Yeah,
going
yeah.
into it.
I would. I don't think there's. No. There's not a single season of any Star Trek that doesn't have at least one great episode. I'd say
I'm looking.
there's
It's-
got to be like. I mean, there's probably one that's like it's like oh well actually season 2 of Next Generation whatever.
No, season 2 actually had.
No, season 2's insane. It's super good.
Yeah, season 2 had a couple good episodes. Season 3 is where they had like all the good episodes.
Season didn't season 3 have like just like back-to-back bangers? Like wasn't that like the big thing for season 3? It was just like I think that was
it?
I think that was the big one because it was
All
like
Yeah.
Measure of a Man. Like the episodes were just like following one another with like ridiculously good episodes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I had told you, like Code of Honor and Measure of a Man were back-to-back episodes, and like just to be alive
Oh.
at that time and watching
Yeah.
that, you'd be
That's-
like you're like, I'm the greatest nerd. This is the greatest time to ever be nerd.
yeah, it's insane.
This is so good. Yeah, that's basically what it's like for Next Generation. But that's kind of what I've been doing this summer. I had so people know about the gallbladder surgery I had removed, and then last week I got food poisoning. So I was like, this has been the summer of Joe right fucking here.
you're actually living the fucking Seinfeld episode.
I am living the summer of Joe.
You are.
Yeah, it's wonderful. God fucking it's very Chicago thing. I went and saw Deadpool Wolverine, which you haven't seen yet.
No, I will as soon as it comes to streaming because I mean obviously everyone I don't know, like as much as I don't watch Marvel movies, if Ryan Reynolds is involved and it's Deadpool, like they finally figured out to just let that guy do whatever the fuck he wants. So I will watch it and assume it will be good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the thing with it is that it's not that it's Ryan Reynolds and they're letting him do what he wants. It's, hey, you're giving a person creative control of a movie and they're making the movie they want to make. Like
True.
that is how you make a movie, you dumb fucks.
True.
You don't like it's surprisingly when you make a shitty, like when you don't give people creative control, they make like milquetoast boring shit. Like you end up with Thor 2 because no one has any sort of creative control over anything. It's the studio. But when you give like I wanting to call him Tim Gunn, but that's the guy from the fashion show. But
James Gunn.
When you give James Gunn the Guardians of the Galaxy and say, have fun, he's gonna make an amazing movie.
Yeah. No, that definitely seems accurate.
Yeah. By the way, it is season 2 that has Matter of Honor and Measure of a Man, not season 3.
Very good.
I just looked that up. Yes. And it's like
Matter of Honor, to not be confused with Code of Honor.
Yeah. But then it's like right after yes, Code of Honor and Matter of Honor are very different. Matter of Honor and then Measure of Man. And then the Dauphin, which is like a horrible episode.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is that the one? Is that that's the opening episode of season 2, right?
No.
Oh no. Okay, because the opening episode. Oh no, the opening episode of season 2 is the space baby.
Yeah, Space Baby.
It's so bad.
The child.
It's
Yeah.
child's terrible episode.
I was thinking like that would be. I know that we haven't talked about gaming yet, people. I understand completely 100%, but I am hungover as shit. So you're gonna have to deal with this. I was thinking that I would like to do a poll for alternative Star Trek episode names, where it's like I'm going to give you an episode and you have to tell me, like, you tell me the name of that episode, like in your own words.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So it's like, like the whatever the ghost episode is, it's like, oh, the one where Beverly Crusher fucks the Scottish ghost. Like that's the name of that episode. It's
Scottish ghost cock.
It's like, yeah. It's like you could say whatever it is, but that's not it. Like Elementary, My Dear Data is not Elementary, My Dear Data. It's the Sherlock Holmes episode.
That's right. It's Sherlock Data.
And then the second one is the other Sherlock Holmes episode. that's the official names of them. I'm sorry.
And hey, it's Geordie.
Yes, and hey, it's Geordie. There's a few exceptions. Like the Outrageous Okona is the Outrageous Okona. Like there's no other name for that episode.
No, that is 100%.
Like the episode with Ashley Judd is called Suck Disc. I don't care what anybody else calls it. It's called Suck Disc.
Well, I mean, it features Suck Disc, so obviously that makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, I just watched season 3's is it Deja Q, or it's the one where Q loses his powers, where they take his powers away from him, and that's the one where he shows up at the end with the mariachi band. And I always just think about you with that episode about like how much you love Q showing up with the goddamn mariachi band.
I fucking love Q showing up with the mariachi band. It's the best.
Yeah. Deja Q, that's what it is. Yeah, so I was right on that one.
God, that's so good.
Yes, an 8.5 episode.
It's a great episode.
I do, yeah.
Mostly because Q with the mariachi band.
It's the Q with the mariachi band episode.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah, I do recommend that. Like, what's really interesting is like season 3. You got at season 3 starts out actually kind of weak. You have a couple really weak episodes, but then it like all of a sudden you get Booby Trap, which is not actually on my watch list because it's rated too low, but Booby Trap is a great episode. It's a great Trek episode, like of just like these are people doing their job and figuring things out. And then it's like that's also the episode at the end
exploring.
Yeah, that's my favorite episode, and it's one of my favorite episode endings because it's like after they get out of the trap, Picard's like, let's ensure this never happens again, and Riker's like, okay, forward torpedoes, blow that thing up, and he's like, well, we could just put like buoys out to say people like avoid this ancient relic because it's booby trapped, but okay, you could go blow up this priceless artifact right here unilaterally. Just go ahead,
just take it out.
Yeah, it's just like it's like if the Navy, if like a battleship was out on the ocean and they found like the Titanic floating around, like, or the Mary Celeste. That's a good ghost ship from Unsolved Mysteries that everybody remembers. Mm-hmm. The Mary Celeste, they're like actually find the Mary Celeste ghost ship floating around in the sea, and they're like, oh, this is the actual Mary Celeste. This thing is amazing. We should tow it back in. Well, we really can't do that. Let's radio in and let's make sure that this ship doesn't bother anybody. And then they're like, okay, fire the guns at it. It's like a little bit of overkill, don't you think? Yes,
and of course Robert Stack. You got to have Robert Stack.
One of those things, like people always talk about how millennials were terrified of quicksand growing up, or the Bermuda Triangle. They don't often talk about ghost ships. We talk about ghost ships quite a bit as kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you avoid the quicksand, which is obviously everywhere, like an extremely, extremely potent, dire, and very real hazard.
Hey, there's quicksand in Illinois, man.
You still need to worry about the possibility of being near any sort of sand and water and a ghost ship coming for you.
Yeah, in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, in the Bermuda Triangle. Well, I mean, the Bermuda Triangle is
in the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah.
Yes, but that was the least scary because you just don't go to the Bermuda Triangle.
How come no one's solving this problem of the Bermuda Triangle? What's going on? Why haven't we found DB Cooper?
What pre what really happened to Amelia Earhart? Teach the controversy.
She was eaten by crabs.
She was most definitely eaten by crabs. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, not alive though. You know, she was her corpse was eaten by crabs.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we don't know for sure. Those crabs, those are some vicious animals.
The crabs are
You've seen-
babies.
You've seen that image of the guy fighting the crabs with the stick.
Crabs are babies. You just fucking flap at them, they'll run away.
Hey, they're a level 1 mob. You gotta, it's like, yeah, you necessarily can beat off the crabs, but it's like, are you gonna be able to take on all of the crab mob?
Yeah, although coconut crabs are pretty big, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Coconut crabs might be the exception.
I always thought coconut crabs would be delicious. Like, why aren't we eating these things? They probably taste like coconut, but they don't taste like coconut.
Perhaps they're terrible. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
I know I know. Yeah, they're fucking huge. You know what? Coconut crab. You know what? Yes, if you were injured enough that you couldn't fight them off, coconut crabs, they're definitely big enough and aggressive enough that they could eat you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. They have those pinchers. That's why you got to be careful of them.
Yes.
All pinchy.
Coconut crabs are also not exclusively scavengers, so like they would very specifically be a situation where I would see that being a possibility. But most crabs are scavengers, so like they don't actually fuck with things that are alive.
Oh, yeah.
But coconut crabs 100% for sure. Like that, like just to throw that out there, like that is actually a viable theory if you're talking coconut crabs. And also I have researched it while I was blabbing, and apparently coconut crab is very good.
Oh, there you go.
Apparently it tastes great.
I just don't eat seafood. Not because I don't like seafood. I love seafood. It's just I don't trust it. We live in a very landlocked region. We really I already had food poisoning once this summer. I don't need it again. I was literally at Pierogi Fest in Northwest Indiana.
Oh no.
And I had thought that, I just had my gallbladder out, so I thought that a lot of my issues were because of the gallbladder. And then I was sitting there listening to polka music, drinking a soda to kind of calm my stomach down, and I just went, "This is not gallbladder related. I'm fucked." But last thing, Trek. Season 3 has the bangers of Yesterday's Enterprise, The Offspring, and Sins of the Father, one after the other. March of 1990 was amazing for Star Trek. And even if then you go down, like after Sins of the Father, you get Allegiance, which is not great. But right after that, it's Captain's Holiday, which is the Picard in the sexiest uniform of all time, with Vosh. So yeah, where he's literally just like open chested the entire time, wearing tiniest little shorts. It's amazing.
Yes.
Why I do have a crush on Robert and on Captain Picard. Why do you ask? I ramble on, especially because there's not much to talk about in terms of gaming. This is Gen Con weekend, so a lot of news will be coming out of Gen Con.
Yes.
Yes. They're on day 3 of Gen Con, so this is the day when a lot of the bigger stuff drops.
Yeah. There's some stuff that's coming out, like Magic. There's they've teased a Mystery Booster 2, and then something they're calling Festival in a Box, which I don't know what the hell that means.
They've so Wizards of the Coast, their big thing was they announced Dungeons and Dragons 50th anniversary secret layer drop sets for Magic the Gathering. Secret Lair, X Dungeons and Dragons, an exhibition of adventure, Asterian's Thirst, Karlach's Rage, Death in the Eyes of the Beholder 1, and Death in the Eyes of the Beholder 2. I don't know what these are. I guess these are like the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
I don't know what that was in particular.
That was a special set based on just Baldur's Gate content, and then it was focused on the Commander format.
Yeah, that's because I figured it was a commander format for Magic. It was just like, but I didn't know if it was like just a D&D skin or if there's something special attached to it.
It is a ground up D&D designed set. So it's not skinned over existing cards. They have specific mechanics. They actually they class mechanics where like you can play an enchantment where your class becomes barbarian, and then like you get like features and stuff. And it's very thematic. Like if you are a D&D fan and not necessarily a Magic fan, or you're not interested in like playing like competitive Magic or anything like that, you could 100% make a very, very good and infinitely fun experience out of just the D&D cards, and you'll like it's legit like D&D feeling. Like when you play it, it's very cool because of course they added a bunch of D20 roll mechanics.
No, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
and it says that you can where's it at? You can use which will be available via D&D Beyond as well. So, it's just I don't know for sure if these are you only can play them through D&D Beyond, or will these be a physical thing or what? But once again, it's like they're trying to get people to use that D&D Beyond, and I refuse. I fucking refuse. Fuck those people. If you can't handle a goddamn sheet of paper, fuck you. I'm so tired of it. Whenever I say like, what's your AC again? And my player has to pull up a sheet on his computer. Like, hold on a second, let me bring this up. I'm like, if you had a piece of paper, you could just look on the piece of paper instead of like having all of this nonsense and electronics and shit like that. You don't need a computer to keep track of the fact that you have fucking rope. Like, get over it.
That makes me laugh.
I really hate D&D Beyond. It's like one of those, it's like the dumbing of America. Like you can't, or I shouldn't say America in general, but like the world in general, like you can't handle a sheet of paper, like writing stuff on a sheet of paper and keeping a track of it there. Like, yeah, like that's part of the fun of the game is like I give you, 100 pieces of gold and you fail to write it down. Guess what? You don't have that gold anymore.
People like apps, man. Can I tell
and people are like, and I go, how much gold do you have? I don't know. Well, you got no gold now because you can't keep track of it.
Like I like using a dice roller on my phone way more than rolling dice for Warhammer.
Ugh. Nah, you got to roll those dice. You got to feel it in your hands.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's faster, more convenient, and do my re-rolls and everything.
There's nothing convenient about these games. There should nothing convenient about these games.
There should be.
No,
a little bit.
No, you roll 20 dice, and then you have to go cocked.
Yeah, see that. Yeah,
and then you have to. Then your opponent has to go. Wait, that was a 4. That doesn't count. That was a 4.
So you're saying the annoyance, the suffering, and the labor is a crucial part of the experience.
Absolutely.
I see.
That's why it's like. That's why these games are not for everybody. Like they say, tabletop games are for everybody. No, they're not for everybody. And I'm not saying that in terms of like
for masochists only.
It's for people who can handle the punishment of playing these games.
That's so funny.
Because yeah, and I want to see these dice roll and knock over figures and just fall on the floor. Like that's part of the experience. Is just how awful sometimes it can be. Yeah. And like arguing about rules and like where in the rule book is this? Well, I'll just do Control F. No, don't do Control F. You have to look for it. You look for it, you goddamn pleb.
That is very funny.
Yes, and I'm not saying this facetiously. I truly believe it. I hate computers at the tabletop. That's the main thing I hate.
I go the opposite route. I just play games that are not complicated enough to need any possibility of requiring an app.
No. Well, yeah.
It's pretty simple if you just there's everything about your character essentially fits on an index card. If that's the case, you definitely don't need an app.
No, yeah, I mean it's true. I mean, I'm very much with you. That's like the best type of games is like where the rules are simplified enough where you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, even like I mean, and that like I said in the Discord, it's literally they made the game so complicated. They now have the ability to either sell an app or sell superiority for not using the app. It's win-win.
It's win-win. One of the things I like, when I was looking up news for Gencon, is they have like pictures of picture news from Gencon, like pictures from Gencon, and they show like some dude painting. And it's like he's painting in the worst possible way, where he has the figure on the table and he's painting the figure as it's sitting on the table, and
Nobody
it just
paints like that.
they obviously do, because it is right here, and it makes me so irrationally mad. It's like, this is why I hate Gen Con.
How do you paint like how do you actually? I'm like I'm literally like trying to think of like how you can like physically do that. Like how does that even work?
Like it's like such a bad representation of the hobby as a whole. Like here, I sent you the picture.
You'd knock it over.
I'm trying to think about it. It's like if they showed the like a baseball game, right?
Oh, I see. No, that's someone who's never painted a model before. That's their first model.
Yeah, fuck that guy. It's like if someone's playing baseball and you go up there and you see a fat guy with no shirt on and he's holding the baseball bat upside down while he's trying to hit the ball. Like that's what that is right there. Like goddamn nerds doing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, whoever is running that paint demo is doing it wrong. Yes.
I mean, look at it. Look at how he's using that brush.
Like I said, that's someone who's never picked up a brush before. Definitely never painted a model before, and like who's running it's someone. But it also I visually couldn't figure out the whole like how the model's on the table, but it makes more sense now because he's like elevated over it. But anyway, I digress. Like, no, this is someone who doesn't know how to run their fucking paint demo station.
And look at it. Look at the base on that model. It's all splotchy.
Yeah, it's because the paint is fucking flying off his brush because he's holding it at that angle. Again,
he's flicking the paint as it's going off the figure.
It is someone who doesn't know how to run their paint demo station. That's what that is.
Yeah. Like I've been told by many people, and this is not just me being like a like, oh, I'm so good at this, but I've been told by many people like, oh, you should give painting demos, and I'm like, you don't want me to give a painting demo because I am an awful person when it comes to teaching people how to paint. Not that I'm bad about it, but I will yell at you and tell you like you are doing this wrong, like. Because I'm not one of those people who are like, there's no wrong way to like, yes, there is a wrong way, and that is the wrong way of doing it. I can't like looking at that picture of that guy painting makes me physically ill.
That's funny.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. I was surprised that Fantasy Flight made a bunch of announcements about like they're still going.
Yeah, it's all card game stuff.
All card game stuff, which is interesting. I mean, good for them, but man, talk about like just like depressing.
Yeah, it's not things are not what they once were.
I mean, yeah, you used to be able to have like Fantasy Flight used to be one of the greatest American games producers, and now all they're doing is like Marvel and Star Wars shit. Like card games.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. They also had a bunch of stuff about Pathfinder battles, which was interesting to me. I was like, oh, I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've been making the figures like for a long time. They, as far as I know, they don't sell anywhere near the amount of. It's so weird. They don't sell anywhere near the amount of D&D figures. Okay, so I gotta ramble just a quick second about this. To understand, this is the power of the name brand Dungeons and Dragons. Y'all, listen here. Pathfinder Battles is the same thing as the Dungeons and Dragons line. Exactly the same. It is pre-painted minis in a blind box. Like it's the same exact thing. You open the box, you get your pre-painted figures, your kobolds, your skeletons, your whatevers. So ostensibly, there should be no fucking difference between these toys. Because it's like you get a box of fantasy role-playing pre-painted figures. They're the same price, $7.99 per booster or whatever. You get the same figures, like everything about this shit is the same. It's like you get 3 medium sized and then 1 large, or you get 6 small, or you get like whatever. All the configurations are the same. The Pathfinder ones sell like maybe like 1 to 15. The D&D ones do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that like it's literally like it's skeleton warriors. Like there's no. I want the skeleton warriors that come from the box that say Dungeons and Dragons on it, not the skeleton warriors that come from the box that say Pathfinder on it. That's what I'm talking about. Like it's mind-boggling to me, because like you'd think that they'd be like, about the same, because it's miniatures like for tabletop role playing. But yeah, that is the strength and power of just putting the name brand Dungeons and Dragons on your toys.
And people love having Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
Love it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Pathfinder artistic style, but people dig it, and people still play Pathfinder. It's not like it's a dead game like many.
No,
it's just
second edition is really, really, really good.
Yeah, it's not like but that's the difference between RPGs and tabletop games, is that RPGs can handle edition change much better. We talk about the edition change for Dungeons and Dragons scaring like people, like Hasbro is scared, but I think that that's a very unique situation as opposed to like with Pathfinder, where it's
D&D is a tabletop game and Pathfinder's still an RPG.
Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Is it shots fired? I don't know. I think that just might be accurate.
Yeah. No, I think it's D&D's edition changes because people who like it's going to affect a lot of people who have never heard of an edition change before. Yeah, so it's like, what do you mean an edition change? What is this? It's like you've only played Dungeons and Dragons 5e your entire life. You think 5e is part of the name. It's not like 5e does not mean 5th edition to you. You just think it's like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons 5e.
Yeah, exactly. Or just most people think just say D&D, but yeah, no, I guess think about it. It's almost, I mean, shit. Is it 10 years old? Is it a decade old?
It's about a decade old.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy.
I mean, it's not unusual. 2E lasted about a decade. But 2E also had 2.5 in there as well. 3rd edition lasted, I don't know, like 8 years, I think. It was 3. Well,
there was 3.5. Like,
yeah.
Are you saying because if you're counting that, if you're counting the halvesies, that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
and they kind of actually did that with this edition by doing books like Tasha's and stuff.
Yeah, so they like the 0.5, like, but that's what I'm saying is like people don't understand that. We're Games Workshop players, Steve. We are doing new edition every 4 years.
Yep.
Like that's just what happens.
Fuck! I just finished my dwarf army.
Yeah, I just finished my dwarf army for 5th edition fantasy. Well, listen here, bub.
Yeah.
You deal with 6th edition now. You're gonna love it. You masturbate all over it. The government's going to find out about it and keep it in a database. They're not going to know what to do with that information, but then yeah, you have that, and people get so they just don't want to spook the newbies. Is basically what it is.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Like, well, you have that one person who's going to stand up and go, "Well, I'm only going to play 5th edition. Damn this 6th edition." It's like, whoa, easy there, Paul Revere and your revolution.
Most of the time that doesn't really work out.
No,
like I think the only like I said the only time that ever really happened was like the 4th edition, like. Which is, we've talked.
Well,
talked about that.
That's
I beat that horse to death. Yeah,
that's different though. Playing the new edition, going, this new edition sucks, I'm going back to the old edition, is much better than staying at the beginning of the edition change. I am not playing this edition.
Oh, true. Yeah, just just being like, I'm not going.
Yes, it's like I am Spartacus. Yes, you are. You are Spartacus. Sure, go ahead.
Spartacus.
But that's the thing. It was like with Pathfinder. On the other hand, though, these people have already gone through 3.5, Pathfinder, and now Pathfinder 2nd edition. Like the people who play Pathfinder are in what's the word I'm looking for? They're all in on Pathfinder at this point.
Yeah, Pathfinder 2e is a very big difference. The biggest thing is it's just a massive difference from 3. It's not 3.5 anymore or 3.75 anymore. It is actually its own thing. It's significantly better. And yeah, like I think anyone who's stuck with Pathfinder is like they're not going off Pathfinder now.
Oh no. I didn't see anything about the Star Trek game that we were talking about, the card game. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, Star Trek, Space Realms.
Star Realms.
Yeah.
I was looking for it. I didn't see anything. I was hoping that there would be some news about it out of Gen Con, but I did not see that. So that was a little disappointed in that. Because I love Star Trek and I want a good Star Trek game that doesn't look like shit.
Yeah, well, that is, you know what, the presentation will matter, I guess. I mean, I don't assume it'll be bad because I mean it shouldn't be, but then again, that one minis game, that one Star Trek minis game came out.
Oh, away missions, yeah. So it's like Star Trek there's like, for every good Star Trek game, there is a shitty design. Like for every good design on a Star Trek game, there's a shitty design on a Star Trek game. Because Star Trek actually has had some really bangers of games, like just designed. Like, what's the
they're not Twilight Imperium one is really good.
Yeah. Hold on, you know what? I got to take a pause for just a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry. That's my morning coffee had to make me pee so bad. I was like, I'm going to pee my pants if I don't pee right now.
Very good. Yes, that would be not good.
Well, yeah. Okay, so like Star Trek Ascendancy, is that the one you're talking about? The Twilight Imperium one? Yeah.
Yes.
That one's designed like that one's an amazing design.
Yeah, super good.
Then you have like the Star Trek Castle Panic, and it's like, this is shit.
Yeah, that one's not so great.
And then you have the design for the Star Trek Mephidius tabletop game, or the RPG. Yes. And you're like, this is amazing. Even the minis are amazing. And then they do away missions, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
why couldn't they just use the minis from the RPG for this?
Yeah, that was crazy.
But then it goes all the way back to like the Decipher CCG, which is like one of the best CCGs of all time.
Really good CCG. Really good.
Oh God, it's annoying. Yeah, and so it's like you don't know which one you're getting when you get a new Star Trek game. Is it going to be on the shitty side or on the good side?
It's just like a new Star Trek series.
Yeah, very true. You never know. What did you see the previews for Section 31?
No.
Oh my God, it looks like the worst piece of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Awesome.
I mean, it looks so bad. Like, why do they keep giving this guy Star Trek shows? Like, don't let him do this. This is awful.
Wonderful.
I know they wanted to give what's her face a start, like, because they already had her for Discovery, and she won the Oscar. So they're like, well, let's get her in for a movie, a Star Trek movie. But it's like, this is bad. This is very bad. But yeah, I was looking for the game, and I couldn't see it because you know that like it could be one of those things where they're like, well, we're gonna design this Picard card, and the Picard card looks nothing like Picard.
Oh right, yeah.
He's got like all hair, and he's like, he's obviously like
he's super buff,
yeah. And you're like, what? That's not Picard. And they're like, well, we're taking creative license with what we have, so that way we don't have to pay Patrick Stewart.
He just looks like Fabio.
Damn it. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden Troy is a man, and you're like, what is going on?
Riker is just Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about some of the other D&D stuff that they announced at the Gen Con. So Baldur's Gate 3 lives on in Project Sigil, the new D&D virtual tabletop. Good for them. I look forward to the porn that is created from the character builder.
Hey, all right.
Yeah. There was some talk about the monster manual, including fixed a 10-year mistake. Who cares? Like, no one reads those books anyway. They just look at the stat line.
That's true.
Even if the stat line is fucked up, they go, well, them's the rules.
That's right. They go like, oh, well. I mean, it says it's challenge rating 3. I don't know why it TPK'd you guys twice, but it's challenge rating 3.
And I did like gamers have fallen in love with a surprising feature in the new player's handbook. The rules glossary has apparently been the most popular player's handbook feature so far. Yes, glossaries generally are. Why companies don't understand that, I will never know. Yeah.
That's a weird. That is a weird one. Every time I look for a book that doesn't have a glossary, I'm always like, fucking shit.
Like, why wouldn't you do this? Like, every book's like the history of books. Like, the first book was one word, and that word had a glossary after it of that one word. And it was like word, page, on page 1, word, page 2, glossary, word, see page 1. Jesus Christ.
That's funny.
Yeah. New details on player bastions and more thematic magic items in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's one of those things that I look forward to with my players going like, when am I going to be able to get a bastion? No. What do you mean? No, we're not doing that.
It's unfortunate that they didn't also mention being able to drink a potion as a free action.
People do like the fact that you could take a potion as a free action. And finally, one of the last things that I laughed about with the articles from on Gencon is sellout Gencon crowd could make downtown parking difficult.
That's awesome.
Goddamn Indiana. Like, yeah, it's going to be difficult.
That's awesome.
Maybe Gencon should move to Milwaukee to take care of their
Milwaukee.
Yes. Well, it's the irony of they came from Milwaukee, and
yes,
just to handle all the extra people in parking, maybe they should move to Milwaukee.
It's funny.
Yes. Whatever. Gencon needs to move. Gencon should go to Vegas. Everything should just go to Vegas. Vegas, all conventions should just be in Vegas. So everything go to Vegas.
Everything should just be Vegas. Yeah, yes. That makes sense.
When I went to Throwback yesterday, Throwback Horror Convention, it should have been in Vegas. Like, we should just go to Vegas for their horror convention. By the way, that's a great convention. If anybody in the Chicagoland area ever goes to it, is it Flashback or Throwback? I think it's Flashback weekend, or I always call it Throwback, but it's a fun little convention. Lots of horror stuff. They had like the entire cast of The Thing outside of Kurt Russell. I saw Keith David. He looked gorgeous. Wearing a full purple suit with a purple hat, sunglasses, gold rings and chains. It was amazing.
That's fire.
Yeah. I did see Adrienne Barbeau, classic 80s heartthrob, and victim of Fluffy in Creepshow, Adrienne Barbeau. So I was going there with my buddy, and Adrienne Barbeau is known for having large barbeaus. And he's like, we walk inside and he's like, let's go see Adrienne Barbeau really quick. And I'm like, okay. Like, even though she's like 70 at this point. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, let's go see Adrienne Barbeau. And she still looks gorgeous. Like, she looks fantastic for her age. And as soon as we're walking up, she's like bending over to talk to like a young fan. And you could see straight down her shirt. And you could see my friend's like eyes just light up. Like he was fucking walking. He walked into Willy Wonka's right there. Da, 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 da. In a world of pure imagination.
That's really good.
Exactly. I did also see Jordan Ladd, who I have a little bit of a crush on. She's from Cabin Fever and Club Dread, and she looks gorgeous still too. So I was relatively excited about that. Did see Eli Roth. I did not see his big fake penis, unfortunately. Yeah. And I did see Ted Raimi. And you know what's weird about Ted Raimi? Ted Raimi looks exactly like Ted Raimi. It's so weird, like, because you see some people and you're like, this doesn't look like the person I saw on the movie screen.
Yeah,
Ted Raimi looks exactly like Ted Raimi.
Yes, Ted Raimi is one of those guys who's just like, they're just like, yeah, he's always looked like that.
Yeah, it's just so like, weird.
That's just Ted Raimi. It's like you look at it, like, I mean, obviously, yes, he looks older now, but like, holy shit, if you watch some of the earliest Ted Raimi stuff, you look at him and you're just like, he just fucking looks like that, huh?
Yeah.
It is. It's just the way it is.
And I did see Tom Adkins, star of Halloween 3, of course. Tom Adkins looks super old, but he still looks like Tom Adkins. Like, it's one of those weird things where it's like, you wouldn't necessarily, like, it's just like, if you what did Halloween 3 come out, like 1982? But if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, that's Tom Atkins.
Yeah, he's still got the stash.
He still has the stash, and it's still super powerful stash. It's crazy.
He does have a fucking like unironically, he's a very good mustache.
Like, yes, very much so. But yeah, the crowd and all the guests and everything was great at the show. Don Coscarelli was there, the producer of Phantasm and Full Moon Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool to see all that. And one thing I was impressed with was I took a real deep dive into Vinegar Syndrome's table and like looked at a lot of their stuff. I didn't buy anything because it was nothing that I was like, their copy of Miami Connection. I think if it was a nicer version of Miami Connection, I probably would have bought it because I do really love that movie. But it's like their stuff is so nice, but it's like I don't want to watch any of their movies more than once. Well, because they buy and restore old movies, but it's like I don't care about Daryl that much to really want to watch Daryl again.
Yeah.
I'm 43. I'm going to die soon. I don't need this.
You don't need to watch Daryl again.
Yeah, I don't need to watch Daryl. That's like 2 hours of my life that I would rather watch a YouTube video of people dissecting how bad Daryl is than actually watch Daryl. And I think that says a lot about like the current state of cinema, that people would rather do that than watch the movie.
I think I don't know. I think it's because a lot of times, well, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I think there's just maybe a lot of stuff where the story about the stuff is just more interesting than the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, and it's like I watch a movie to see how I feel about that movie. Sometimes I'm too lazy and I want people to tell me how I should feel about this movie. And I know that's wrong, but I don't give a fuck.
I mostly do that with video games that I know I'm just never gonna play because they're either like really obscure, hard to get, annoying to get in any capacity, whatever, or just way too fucking long. So I do watch videos on like video game opinion videos, or what the fuck, what do they call them? Video essays. I do watch video essays on some games that I know I'm never gonna play.
Yeah, I mean, like, and there's a level of irony about it too, where we do that with like shows we've never watched, but yet we still have a strong opinion contrary to what everyone else is saying online, like Blandor.
Blandor.
Like, you watch a video and people are telling you like, you should watch this show. The show's so good. And I'm like, no, Blandor.
I don't want to.
I don't want to watch this piece of shit. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
I ain't going to watch it.
Yeah. So just screw all you guys. But yeah. But that's kind of, where I'm at on that end. So the only other thing I saw that I wanted to talk about was people are freaking out about Henry Cavill's 40K show. They're like saying like, he hasn't come up with anything yet. Their deadline's coming. Everything's going to fall apart. And I'm like, good. Like, if they can't come up with something good, they shouldn't come up with something. Like,
I agree with that. If you can't come up with a good story, don't come up with a story just because.
Yeah, yeah.
Story just because gets you a lot of really, really shitty movies.
It gets you Roger Corman's Fantastic Four is what it gets you.
Well, I mean, man, that movie's really bad.
I know. You probably did not watch any of the Fantastic Four coverage out of Comic-Con, right?
No.
Where Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as
I did not watch the coverage, but I did see that. Yes.
Yeah. I was laughing hysterically because they announced the cast and everything like that. That's been out before. And they said when they announced Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, I'm like, man, they really botched this newest phase of Marvel movies so badly that they got to go back to having a movie that's like, 4 white people and Robert Downey Jr. back in the movie. It's like,
yeah, I was like that it just like I heard that and I was just like, man, they really are just like, I don't know how they could be creatively bankrupt this fast, but apparently.
Oh no, it's not creatively bankrupt. It's that they're so terrified of anything else that they're like, we need to go back. We need to have this movie full of white people and Robert Downey Jr.
They're adjusting the dials furiously and looking back at the audience to see if they're doing good
and everything. All right, so do we have any other gaming news that we need to talk about?
I don't believe so.
All right. So you go to the Game Classy Facebook page is the best way to find a link to the Game Classy Discord where we talk about all things. I need to add a sub Discord for Lord of the Rings stuff because I want to talk about War of the Ring and how War of the Ring is now a completely accessible game with 3D printing.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know it's something Steve and I have talked about before where it's like, you know, War of the Ring is probably, I will say, in the top 5 rule sets Games Workshop has ever produced.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah, in terms of like, this is a great self-contained game. Army building's great. Combat's great. Movement's great. Yes, there are flaws in it. We understand that there are flaws and things can be broken, but it's like nothing is perfect. And this is a good example of something that is as close to perfect as you're going to get. This is an 8.1. No games are 8.1s. No
Yes.
tabletop mini games are 8.1s. I just say 8.1 because that's like a good Star Trek number. Like that's like a lot of the rankings are like, and this is an 8.1. You know, you never see like an 8.6 episode. You only see like you get an 8.1 or a 9.1 because, you know, people don't want to, they would score it as like a 9.6. This is an 8.1. No Games Workshop game has ever achieved any higher than it. Maybe War Master. War Master is probably the best rule set.
Yeah, War Master is really fucking good.
Yes. But now it's like with 3D printing, it's like, oh, I could just print off a tray of, you know, Gondor soldiers. Nice. Next episode, I could go over my list of games of Lord of the Rings Patreons that you can get models from that are a good match for any Middle Earth strategy battle games. There's a couple.
Nice.
I know people know the two, like the big ones, like the Printing Goes Ever On, which is a fantastic Patreon, but there are others out there that are producing great models. And so I'll do that next episode. We don't have that much time, and my tummy's hurting again from too much beer.
Word.
Yes. Go to the games. You could also help, and the best way to help out the podcast is like, comment, subscribe on iTunes, and like, comment, subscribe on the YouTubes. If you want to see more of my stuff, you can see it on Instagram at @GameClassy. If you like Steve's stuff, you could see it on Blue Sky, where he is at Command Throw. So, Steve, did I miss anything?
No, that was everything. You did the thing.
I did the thing. So, Steve, until next time.
I beat Elden Ring.
Yay!
Mission
Now you have
accomplished.
Now you have to beat it again, but wearing a pot on your head.
I'm not going to do that.
Later.
Game Classy.